Hey, it's Kelsey Ray coming at you live and...
Eric.
Missed that. I always mess this up.
It's okay.
As you guys are hopping on, drop a 1 if you're watching this live, and drop a 2 if you're watching the replay, and make sure you share this out, type in the comments where it's shared. Are you sure we're not both blurry on your phone?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
So, we wanted to go live with this topic about being parents and having a spicy site. If you don't know what a spicy site is, go watch our Instagram stories and you'll figure it out. Make sure you share this out, type in the comments the word shared, because I feel like this is going to bring a lot of value to a lot of parents. If you are a parent, type the word parent in the comments below. This is probably going to open your eyes a little bit. So he just said, I don't even know what I'm going to say. We don't really know what we're going to say on here. These are not scripted or anything. We never do.
We just come in hot.
We just we want to talk about it because so many people, not only are we getting judged by the fact that we have a spicy account, like, oh my God, what are your kids going to think when they see that, when they know that what you're doing for money? And so we want to address it and talk about a couple different things. So, my first thought, let's just go ahead and jump into it. My first thought is, number one, that's not the main attraction of our life.
Right.
We had businesses before we started the Spicy account.
Correct. And
we were very successful in them. So I'm actually a verified 6-figure earner before that even came about. So there's that, right? So it's not like the main attraction of our life. And what are your thoughts when it comes to that now?
Like what?
You said you don't know what to say or how you...
Are you saying, what am I supposed to,
When people say, well, what is going to happen when your kids see it?
Well, we got a couple of years before they actually understand. So we can kind of come up with something. But my first thought was, my kids are very understanding, and I come to them... See, I think my kids are willing to, come to me and speak. Hopefully, whenever anything happens in their life, they're, willing to come to me and talk to me. Instead of kind of just running off and doing their own thing and just kind of hiding things, lying and stuff like that. I feel like my kids can come to me because how I approach them and how I talk to them. So I feel like it'll be kind of easy in my eyes, to kind of have that discussion with them. First off, I can speak very well and I can talk to them and let them know and understand kind of what's going on. But we still have a couple years for that to come around. But what is your thoughts?
All right, so someone asked me on my story, and by the way, if you watch our stories, just say yes in the comments below. And make sure you share this out, type in the comments word shared. Someone said, you say that sex sells, but that's not what I want in my daughter's brain. I don't want her thinking that she has to sell her body. And it's I completely understand that perspective of it, and to be honest, I don't want my daughter to feel like she has to sell her body either. But I also want her to know that, if she wants to do that because she might be passionate about the way that she looks and how she feels about her body, then it's okay to do that. Right. So, I feel honestly, just...
There was that one TikTok the other day you showed me that kind of opened my eyes about that. That one guy. Remember the dad?
What?
He's talking about that because she came to him and let him know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this TikTok that I watched real quick because I feel like a lot of people should have this mentality. This woman, she's a grown woman. She's probably in her 20s or 30s actually. Right. She calls her dad and she's like, "Hey dad, do you know what? We're just gonna say Spicy account. Do you know what Spicy account is?" He was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, well, do you know what I do on there?" He was like, "Yeah," and then she was like, "Okay, but do you know that I'm getting, undressed on there?" And he said, "Yeah." And she said, "Okay, well, how do you feel about that?" And her dad said, he paused for a second and he said, "Claudia." And he's Russian. Claudia. I'm trying to talk Claudia.
That makes it even better.
Am I upset about my daughter making millions of dollars by showing her little tits? I think I'll sleep okay at night.
That's fucking hilarious.
And I was like, that is so true.
That's funny.
There are far worse things that the kids can do. So here's the thing though. When Callie and Emberly specifically get older, right? Because I feel like it'll be more of a conversation with them than it will be with the boys. But and just the preferences we have, tell us how old your kids are in the comments. We have an 8-year-old, we have 2 5-year-olds, and then we have a 1-year-old. So we have a while before they even reach that realm of even knowing what we do. So anyways, my thoughts are I would like to just honestly have an open discussion if it ever gets to that point of, here's the thing, I'm okay with you doing whatever you want to do. If you feel like you want to go do that, but I don't want you doing it with multiple men. And if you do it with men, it has to be someone that you are in love with, that you choose to spend the rest of your life with. I don't want you being like,
it's really good that the kids like get to see Kelsey and I in the light that we are in, because like we have a very loving and intimate relationship, and they can see that, and they can see the bond that we have. So I don't think that necessarily that would be an issue, but you never know.
That's the only instance I wouldn't be okay with it. But then it's like, okay, if she's over 18, cool.
But I want to preface this because like this comes up often, and I've heard so many parents talk about this, because I know a lot of you are great parents, and a lot of people parent great, but there's parents that don't do so well. And from what I see and from what I can just tell from the outcome of how their children turn out is definitely not you can't really base it off like how good of a parent you are, because I see parents that are amazing and do great things, and their kids don't really turn out quite how they would have expected. But here you have on the other side where parents treat their kids terribly and they turn out, or they weren't great parents and their kids turn out great regardless. So it's like
you don't know.
You never know. All we can do is honestly just parent the best we can and discuss with our kids and just kind of base some mutual ground on like kind of what's going on. So.
Right. And it's honestly like, here's the thing too, is I feel like I have been shamed since I have been young when it comes to sex, because I grew up in a very Christian family. And if you can relate to this, type in the comments to relate. I grew up in a very Christian family. So just the word sex was offensive and was not allowed. Like it was so strict in my family that like if you even thought about having sex, or if you thought about like being sexual with yourself or pleasing yourself, like you were sinning. And it is so bizarre to me, because it is a natural instinct, number one, and I don't want my kids to feel shame around that. I literally don't, because now in my adulthood I have issues with it. Like granted, we're on the spicy side and we do all that stuff, but like
you're definitely like getting better.
Like and it's helping me honestly kind of recover from all of the shame that I experienced in my life. But I don't want my kids to ever feel shame around something that comes natural to them. As human beings, it's in our nature to procreate. That's the correct word. I looked it up. It's in our nature. And so I want to teach them safe sex. I want to teach them how to love themselves. I want to teach them how to respect themselves. And just because we do the spicy side does not mean that we don't respect ourselves.
Right.
So
we totally respect ourselves.
I think it's about what you're teaching your kids versus, just, what are they going to think? And then they're going to want to go do that. It's not like they're going to be 12 years old trying to make a spicy account. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be respect, and they're probably going to be very open with, because we're so open, they're going to be comfortable coming to us.
We're very open and understanding, so.
I used to not be, but we're getting better at that. About like, okay, like, whatever. But I just feel like so many people worry about this. And by the way, I'm going to read all of your comments in just a second. But yeah, open communication. So I just don't want my kids to feel like, and here's another thing. By the time we have probably like, I don't know, I feel like we have like 8 more years. 7 or 8 more years.
5 more. Noah's going to be
8? So how old do you think it starts? How old were you?
13 or 14.
So 8. 5 years?
Yeah.
5 or 6 years. Still, 5 or 6 years, y'all. We've been doing this for not even a month, and it's astronomical, okay? It's just astronomical, the amount of money that we're making on it. In 6 years, who knows if we'll even be doing it still?
I mean,
I don't know. We might find that we don't care to do it anymore at that point. We like doing it now. Yeah, it's very exciting.
We're enjoying it.
And it's fun, not because we have to. So with the amount of money that we're making on it, who knows if it'll even be a thing in 6 years? I don't know. But anyways, we might move on to other things. Like,
yeah, we are entrepreneurs.
We just might move on to other things.
Yeah, we like to find, that's what our skill set is.
We might come to find that we don't have to.
Trying to find things where we can make money.
Yeah, like, so anyways, at that point, it won't even be a discussion. You know what I mean? But to think that, like, our kids who are 8, 5, and 1 are going to just all of a sudden hear from their friends, your mom has a spicy account. Like, that's so unrealistic. It's not going to be, and then they're going to be like, what's that? It's like, yes, if our kids are, like, 13 right now, that would be understandable. Like, okay, well, we got to have the conversation with them.
Right.
And we'll have a conversation when, you know, like, Noah gets to the age, you know, we were talking about that the other day. Like,
right.
we'll sit down and have a conversation saying, hey, by the way, like, you know, this is kind of what we do, but we do it because we love each other, and we do it because we feel, we'll just talk to him about, like, our morals and how we feel about it, and help him to understand, right? Not because we have to do it for money, or not because we're trying to get, because we're messing with other people.
No, that's something to do.
And people think that, too. Like, they be sending us pictures and stuff, and it's like, just because
I mean, I can see how that can get the idea of that, but honestly, we just share our love life on there. That's all we do.
And by the way, if you're curious about, like, the link for it, it's going to be linked in our Instagram stories. I can't post it to my actual link in my bio, so you can go to the link in my Instagram stories. My Instagram is linked in my bio, or just search my name, Kelsey Ray. You can find the link there.
Mine's in my bio.
So we're going to announce, like, we have, I think, like, what, maybe, like, 30 more people until we reach 1,000 fans on there.
Yeah, and then
so once we reach 1,000 fans, we're going to do a giveaway.
Yeah, giveaway.
So go subscribe.
Yeah.
And it's fun. But we wanted to just kind of...
It is really fun.
It is fun. I mean, sometimes...
We have a blast, actually.
Yeah. It is, like, work, but at the same time, like, it's just what we enjoy doing it.
Right. We'll probably make a live and talk about what's our mindset going into that, because we've had a huge discussion about this. We've actually done this for a while. We didn't actually start diving into, like, the deep stuff. Until a little later.
No pun intended.
Yeah. So, and we kind of had to have that discussion, like, how would this affect us and stuff like that. But we've talked about it. That was a big
discussion.
Yeah, it was a huge discussion, and we talked about it. Did I share?
That really. By the way, make sure you share this out. Type in the comments where it's shared. I also run a giveaway for that. Just watch my stories to see if you win. But that was a big discussion for us in the beginning, and we started it with, like, okay, well, let's, you know, do, like...
We don't want to give too much away. We will go live with that, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying in the beginning, like, we were like, let's do, like, informational videos about how to spice it up in the bedroom, right? Not, like, actively showing anybody anything. And then it just, the passion wasn't there. It was just like, whatever. And
it's
then...
It's not that the passion wasn't there. It's actually, that was a lot of work.
That is a lot of work.
Oh, it's tough.
It's easier to...
Just show you.
It's easier to just show you. Thank you for sharing, you guys. So, anyways, so, you know, there's that. Yeah. But, you know, now we've realized there's a couple of different stipulations in what he says. We're going to go live about this at a different time.
Right.
But there's boundaries that we have and lines that we will never cross.
Correct.
When it comes to this, to keep our relationship intact.
Because that's everything.
That's first and foremost. And so we've strategically thought about this all the way through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know people don't see that on the other end of it. They don't think about that part. They just are like, oh my God, how could you do this? You know, what are your kids going to think?
We're very open-minded.
Yeah, and I'm a realist too. So I'm like, you know what? If my kids know this, it's not the end of the world. Right. Just because I do it, that's what people think. Just because I do this doesn't mean that my kid's going to want to grow up and do that. They're going to develop into their own person with their own personality.
Right.
Maybe, like, you know, they will want to do it, but then we'll just have conversations. Open communication.
Yep.
Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Leslie. Are your pictures content protected? No, you just subscribe and then it shows you.
Protected as far as, like, something being leaked? Because we've had this discussion before.
Which we'll talk again on.
Yeah, we'll talk again.
We'll talk about this one. Actually, I'm not going to be live on Facebook.
We do have a copyright claim posted in our description, letting you know that if anything does.
I'll sue you.
Yeah.
So. And I will. We got the money to do it.
Yeah, we have the money to find out if
I'll
someone
hire
leaks anything. We can find them.
Yeah, we actually both have Snapchat. Could you imagine if we always thought, what would my kids think? Oh my God. And some of you guys are doing things in your daily life already as it is. And what would your kids think? Maybe you're not on a spicy account, but, like, what would your kids think about all the things that you did in your past? You know what I mean? Like, listen, there are worse things that you can do than to love yourself and be spicy with your partner on the internet.
Correct.
And that's the thing too, is like we're doing this together, and I more than likely, because of my background, probably wouldn't be doing this by myself. But I just
right, and that's a whole nother damn discussion too.
Yeah, people say all the time like, well, how do you talk about? Because I don't know if you guys know this. If you're new, can you type the word "new" in the comments? But people ask me all the time like, how do you talk about the fact that you were in sex work and like you had a sugar daddy and all this stuff, but then you're doing this? And I explained on my story, I was like, it's not the same thing. And I know that sounds,
cliche, but it's
yeah, or like I'm a hypocrite, but it's really not. Like, I was giving my body away for money to someone I did not even like. And I feel respected and loved through this, and it's fun to me because I feel comfortable with him. Yeah. And I'm not having to do anything that I don't want to do. I'm not having to do it for money. That was the thing too. Like, I had to do that for money, or I thought that I had to do that for money. This is just something that I'm doing because
we enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also am vocal about it because I really want to bring awareness to the fact that sex is normal, natural. And if you're safe and protected and you are educated on all of the aspects, I just feel like it's not as bad as society makes it out to be.
Correct.
If you're of age and you're with someone who's of age, I just feel like there's things that go into that. But I just want to normalize that sex happens. Like, how do you think people have babies? And I just think there's so much shame around it that it shouldn't be. You shouldn't feel shame.
Everyone got kids.
Like, I just want to, know, if you're a woman on here that has ever had shame around being sexual, can you type a yes in the comments? Because I feel like so many women, I don't think men are ashamed at all. I think men, well, maybe there are some men.
There are men, definitely.
But, I feel like it's like a given that men just,
I don't know.
Jerky.
We're kind of genetically coded to spread our seed.
Yeah, it's not even a big deal if men go sleep with 5 different women, but if a woman sleeps with 5 different men, it's crazy. Do you know? Yes, you know.
I think a whore is a whore. Is that what you're saying?
Men or a woman?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What?
No, I'm not saying that it's... What I'm saying is, if you're going to call me a whore for sleeping with 5 men, then you're a whore for sleeping with 5 women.
I just said that.
Right, that's what
we're on the same page. Yeah,
okay.
No, that's completely biased. You can't say that.
No,
I'm saying, I'm pretty sure there are, but
it's just a stipulation that we have in society of that it's okay for men to sleep around.
I can see that. Yes,
it's not okay for
It's
women.
funny because the dudes are like, how many chicks?
What's your
body count? 10. Oh, dog.
10.
What are you, about 500?
No.
Okay, all right.
Oh my God,
I'm just joking. But when a woman says that, and it's kind of like, ew. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get
when a woman does it, it's like, oh, she's
right.
been ran through.
Right.
What?
Used and abused.
We're gonna take this. By the way, if you guys Jesus. If you guys would listen to our podcast,
okay.
Make sure you share this out. Type in the comments word shared. We are going to do a podcast. I've been thinking so heavily on this. I'm like, how can we get a podcast streaming? Because I want to talk about this specific subject. There's so much you could talk about.
I would
with this
love
subject.
To speak freely without having to speak in
code. It's so annoying. Spicy account. I just want to
robot.
Because of these platforms are just not with it, and I understand.
Yes,
There's
we can
kids,
understand that. Yes,
we get it.
That's
so we're gonna do a podcast where they cannot fuck with us.
Yeah, nobody can say anything. We free.
Hi, Laura. Thank you. It's a society thing, but the facts don't change, right? So y'all sleep with other people? No. That's the thing. We don't sleep with other people. No. We don't do anything with other people. We are not in an open relationship.
No,
we are completely just monogamous to each other.
Yeah, we just do. We share what we do basically on a daily or,
Yeah, normally.
What we do normally.
No, that's crazy that people even think that, though. It's crazy. Anyways, so thanks guys for hopping on. We appreciate you. Can you do Zoom or riff a podcast? Right, that's what we want to do, is open a podcast so we can just have conversations where we're just talking about our opinions on topics, specifically about sex, and really just
talk about that.
I feel like it can bring so much value. I feel like some people can learn so much from how we just think about this topic.
Correct.
And I want to bring awareness to it. So we're gonna make a podcast If I even mentioned it when I was younger. Right. Jesus. Could you do a podcast on YouTube? See, I think what I'm going to do is take this video and turn it into a YouTube format and put it on YouTube, and then also take the audio from it and put it on.
We would love to have like guests on there. We would love to be guests on other shows, like
Angela.
Podcasts,
yes,
you know, that'd be cool. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So another thing that we want to do, like he was just saying, is being guests on other people's podcasts, but then having a podcast where we can have other people come talk on our podcast too.
That sounds fun.
Like, and you do that through Zooms, obviously. Like, you just like Zoom and then you whatever. But that's a big thing that we want to do next. Is Beth? Oh my God. Riff Room 2. You don't have to filter on there, and you can invite people to talk to you and stuff. I heard of Riff Room. I actually have an account with the Riff Room. I spent way too long.
Yeah,
it's in my Instagram. If you go through my Instagram stories, you'll see where there's like a link that you click. You have to click it where it says, maybe I should just click here. But in my Instagram stories, my Instagram is Kelsey Ray, or it's linked in my bio. We got a good one. Could do funny, sexy stories. You guys need to be on Baby Mama's No Drama and Coffee Combos podcast. I'll look into that. Can I say both of you are stunning? Thank you.
Thank you.
Honestly, I feel like there needs to be more people like you willing to educate people on it, right? So that's my job.
Yeah, you're pretty.
Our job.
Yeah, you have, a good resume to talk about that. You know, about everything.
And listen, I was thinking on the way home today, like, I feel like I had barely touched the surface of my purpose.
Right.
Because I feel like this might be launching me into a whole new world of...
It definitely is.
Because of everything that I've been through. And I know some of you guys don't even know my past, but I've been through a lot of, like sexual trauma type, like, things. And anyways, that'll be something that we'll get into.
That's a song for another time.
Yeah, like, it's a lot. But I just feel like I have the background enough to talk about things like that and educate people and honestly dive deeper into... I'm excited. We're going to do this podcast. We're going to buy some stuff. You don't have to buy, stuff, by the way, to start a podcast. You can do it on your phone. But I'm going to, like...
Yeah, we want microphones and stuff like that. We want... Because it's just... You
can
hear better.
Toys out the way and put it right there.
It's like... Yeah. It's easier.
So... Anyways, thanks guys for hopping on. We appreciate you. Make sure you share this out. Type in the comments word shared. And we'll see you guys later.
See y'all.
Bye.